welcome back to Budget Beauty. This is Budget Beauty's weekly series where I do a long form look from start to finish, and I talk about products and things that I'm using and just detailed life updates while I'm doing it. I am Lindsay Beatty. I am the creative force and the face behind Budget Beauty. And this week, we don't have anything in particular going on. I am just going to go out and do some shopping today. I have a couple of places that I really want to go, and it involves makeup. So I am going to go buy some makeup. And we are going to have a beauty haul stemming from this shopping trip. There will be some non-budget items in this beauty haul because I am going to Sephora. And so there's like one thing, maybe two things out of Sephora that I'm thinking about getting that are not budget items. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna try these things, and see how I like them because I want to support the brand. So I am gonna go to Sephora. I am also going to Ulta, and Ulta has a deal going for 5 times the normal points if you buy Rare Beauty stuff, and there's some Rare Beauty stuff that I would like to buy. So one to replace one of this foundation that I bought that is not the right shade, and is something else. I think it's a blush or something. I don't know. It might be the concealer. I don't know. I have to look to see. I made a list and I put it on the list, so we're gonna see what it does. So let's get started. So I am wearing, you can't really see it, but I'm going to try to pull this up. This skirt, which is very blue. It is like a pale blue, springtimey blue. And I'm wearing my crinoline with it. So I would like to match my eyeshadow to that. And I'm wearing a black t-shirt that I just bought. This is, we went to for our anniversary, we went to Greenville, and so I got a bunch of t-shirts that are from this brand, Riot Society, and on the back of this is a painted lady who has she's I don't want to say she's a geisha because she's probably not actually a geisha. But she's a painted lady, and so it's got like a skull and thing on it. So it's actually pretty cool. I saw it and I was like, so I bought like 5 of them, as my gift to myself for our anniversary. So yeah, I really like these shirts that I got. Finally took them out the bag, and so we're gonna do a little bit of shopping today. I'm on my own because my husband is not off this weekend. So, husband will be off next weekend. And maybe we might go do something then too. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to get started. So I'm going to match everything to that and, see what we can do with that. So also too, I'm trying to get out of here my eyelash primer. My lash primer. If I could reach it, that would be great. It's hard in this little thing because I use the front part of this to do my I use the front part of this to put my products out as I'm ready to start doing things, so they're quickly and easily and within reach. And so it kind of takes up the space that I need to pull this drawer out of here, which is why I need a vanity. So if and when my husband watches this, this is another reason why I need a vanity. Thanks. So, because we have talked about this. But per the usual, what I'm putting on now, this is the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. I am putting some on. I'm going to be sad when this runs out because I don't know if your girl is going to buy this again. I mean, it is fantastic. Listen, it does exactly what I need it to do. It is great. It really does what I want it to do in terms of putting a primer down and doing what I needed to do for my primer. Um, for my eyeshadow, it is great, but it is also exorbitantly expensive for eyeshadow primer. I mean, you getting your money's worth out of it. I promise you. I Every time I have done a look with this, I have gotten excellent results. It has been fantastic. I have nothing to complain about. But y'all, it is also $28 for this size tube. And I'm like, Urban Decay, are you serious? $28? This don't need to be no more than like $15, $16 at best, okay? Like, it is literally going to go on underneath something else. I don't understand paying that kind of money for primer. I just don't. That's too much. That is entirely too much. But I mean, yes, it does give me a great base. I promise y'all, a great base. But it don't need to be $28. For the face primer, we're going to go in with the SheGlam Pore No More primer. I actually really like this primer. Listen, people talk noise about SheGlam, but I really like SheGlam. And I know my lighting is weird in here because my ring light is bright. Let me see if I can turn my ring light down a little bit. That's a little dark, but that kind of helps in intensity. But yes, this is the SheGlam Pore No More primer. This primer is actually really good. I really like it. It very much reminds me of the Sephora collection, and y'all know how much I love the Sephora collection one. So, yeah, I really like this primer. So I'm putting it back in the kit. So, places I'm planning to go today. Gonna go to Ulta. Gonna go to Sephora. Gonna go to Bath and Body Works. I got a 5 for $28 sale going on hand soap, even though I don't really need it. But also you can get a free body care item. I don't know. And I kind of want to get some of that. So actually, I think maybe I won't go to Bath and Body Works. I was planning to go over there just because I have to go past there, because the place I really need to go is Home Goods, because I need to get a new plastic dish drainer for our kitchen. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going past the Home Goods, the way this is set up, the Home Goods is right next door to the Bath and Body Works and the Sephora. So I'm like, well, since I'm over here, I need any excuse to go buy makeup and buy hand soap from Bath and Body Works. I was like, well, let me see if they got a sale going. They do. They have a 5 for $28. You mix and match 5 for $28 hand soaps. So that's why I'm like, I guess I could do that. So I got an order going. I didn't order it online. What I do is, to prevent myself from overspending in Bath and Body Works, because I could very easily do that, I make a list within the cart. I look at it online to see if it's available in the store. If it is and it's something I want, I put it in the cart. Then when I go in the store, because I don't order online, I do not order it and ship it to the house for 2 reasons. One, I am I want it right now. If I decide to buy it now, I want it right now. I do not want to order it and wait. And then 2, Bath and Body Works has issues with their shipping for stuff. People reported that their stuff comes broken and all of that. And I'm like, buddy, I ain't paying all that kind of money for you to send me something that's broke. So we're not doing that. So I'll just pick it out and pick it up at the store. Or I make my list and I go in the store, and as I am picking the things out, I take it out of the cart. And that's my shopping list. That's how I do my shopping list. And I told one of the ladies at the counter at this particular Bath and Body Works, I said, well, I like to have a list when I come in here because otherwise I overspend. And she was like, no, don't do that. And I'm like, now you can't get the whole paycheck now. So yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to come in here with a list because y'all tend to make this a little too easy for me to overspend my whole paycheck. So I and I got paid yesterday. So yeah, I was like, let me go in here and see if they got a sale going. So they do. They have a 5 for $28. And I have a reward for like a free item up to $18.95 in value. So I'm gonna get some body wash that I don't already have. It's one that I used to like back in the day. So yeah. All right. So eyes are ready. Face is settling. Let's call it that. I finished applying. As you can see, I have a slight ghostly white pall on my face. So, but the face is ready. Also, once I finish my eyes. So, to cut the crease, we're going to cut the crease with the, this is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. Y'all know this is a favorite here at Budget Beauty. Not expensive, great performance. Colors are very large color range, and they work really well for me. This is the shade Icebreaker. So, I have used this one before. I used it in the winter when we had the ice episode. And it was snowing here in Columbia. But I like to match it with this skirt, so it's a nice pencil, no stuttering, great performance. So yes, I'm planning to go to Bath and Body Works and Home Goods and Sephora, Ulta. The Ulta is going to be the Ulta that I go to all the time. Because like I say, I want to buy the Rare Beauty stuff. All right, so now for the eyeshadow, I got three eyeshadows actually that I want to kind of mix and match. The first one is, all right, these NYX jumbo eye pencils. They are not sharpened. I don't think they sharpen. I think this is the one I was really mad because they don't sharpen. They say it's a built-in sharpener. I've never gotten it to sharpen. It is not a built-in sharpener for me. Okay, but this is in the shade, let me see, it says it on here, Macaroon. Now, these sometimes they weird. They real weird. I like them, but they're real weird, and I have like 50 of them. But the shades are just, sometimes the shades are what I'm after, but the performance sometimes is not what I want it to be. And I'm like, all right, NYX, now this should be better than this. So I like to use this as a base. And as you can see, it matches that color really, really well. So this is not going to be the main thing. Also, I just realized I did not grab the freaking eye brush that I need. I did not grab my tools because it's time to put a new set of tools in for my eye stuff. So I'm going to need to grab it in just a second. But see, as y'all can see, this is real kind of spotty. Now, the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots, I have a shade in that actually works really well with this too. And it is really good. I really like it. It's a good shade, but this is a little tough to put on. So you kind of have to like do a little work with it. So let me grab out of my kit. I have to grab my tools because I do not have one over here. So bear with me for just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So I grabbed a new box of the tools, fresh new container, and I have gotten a tool out of here because I now need it to spread this out and do what I want it to do. And spreading it out is kind of hard, but I mean, it's not super hard. It's not impossible. It's going to look a little patchy when you do. But that's fine because we're going to put stuff on top of it anyway. So there's that. So there. But yeah, these perform a little odd from time to time. Now, and it really depends on what shade you're getting that does this. Some shades better than others. Some shades are not that great to work with and will pill on the eye. And then some, perfect. They actually perform really well. They do not pill. They just kind of sit there and do what you want it to do. So yeah, I do have some plans for myself to go out and do a little bit of retail therapy. Because your girl likes to shop. And I've always been a shopper. Even when I didn't live here in Columbia, I shopped a lot. When I lived in Greenville or when I lived in Spartanburg, I would go to Greenville and I would shop. And when I lived in Anderson, I would go to Greenville and I would shop. So yeah. And I shopped in Anderson, but it was limited, and my ex-husband worked at the mall, so I tended to try to avoid going to the mall because I didn't want to be at his place of business, though I probably should have been. So yeah. And so actually, since I have time and I'm doing this, I guess I can talk about the first marriage. It's a long, I'm going to condense it down because I could be here forever talking about the foolishness that was my first marriage. But suffice to say, when I condense this down, just know that it was a lot of foolishness going on. Just absolute foolishness that didn't need to be going on. Mostly perpetrated by him. And you know what? And I will tell people, I do tell people, I was a good wife. I was a good wife. I know I was a good wife. I wasn't perfect. Nobody is. But it was unnecessarily hard. Like 9,000% of the time, just unnecessarily hard for no reason. As most marriages that end in divorce are, it didn't need to be that hard. It really didn't. So, make of that what you will. All right, so now for the second eyeshadow, I'm going to interject quickly here. For the second eyeshadow, we're going to use the Juvia's Place Rebel Mints palette. I really love this shade right here. And we're going to put that on top of this as the shimmer. This is very much a matte that I have on. As you can see, it's kind of a little patchy right there. But I'm going to put that on. And then I have one other one from ColourPop that is a different shade of blue that I want to mix in. So this is going to be a shimmer. And I'm using the same tool to just pick it up and put it on. But it's this shade right here. This one. So they don't have names. As far as I know, they don't have names. But I really like this palette. And as you can see, it fills it in and puts a little shimmer to it when it does. And I'm using the other side of this that was not used for the mat. So anyway, all right, very quickly, let's talk about this first marriage, because I've been saying I'm going to talk about it. So when I was 23 years old, I had moved out of this house and I moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina, because I had just gotten a job at what was the Spartanburg Herald Journal. And the Herald Journal still exists. It's just not in the same form as it once was. I was a newspaper graduate. I went to the University of South Carolina at Columbia. Graduated class of 03. And so, matter of fact, my anniversary of graduation just passed, May 9th. So I've been out of school for a minute now for the first degree. Okay. So I was a plucky little copy editor, fresh out in the world, ain't know nothing about nothing. Got a little piece of a job, went out, started working, doing what I wanted to do for a living, which was copy, edit, and page design. So I was there for about a year and some change, and I met a fella. Okay. My ex-husband, I met him, his name is James. Prefers to go by Jamie, but because I'm petty and spiteful and mean-spirited, we're just going to refer to him by James. Because he absolutely despised going by just James. So, I met James August 14th, 2004. I met him at a tournament at the now defunct Outer Limits Arcade in Anderson, South Carolina. I had driven up as a friend was holding this tournament, and he was running a bunch of games and things in the tournament, and I told him, yeah, I'd come up and volunteer to run the Dance Dance Revolution tournament that we were having on our Extreme machine. We had a Dance Dance Revolution Extreme machine that we used all the time. Okay. Now, at this point, I was heavy into Dance Dance Revolution, and I played it a lot. Very decent at it. I was very decent at it. Thanks to an ex-boyfriend who learned how to play it in this bedroom, in this house. And then I, of course, because my boyfriend was learning how to play, I learned how to play. So, I'd been playing for years at this point. And so I was running a tournament, Perfect Attack tournament. And so my friend was like, hey, I want to introduce you to this guy when you get here, because I was running late. And I had worked the night before, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta get up. I gotta get there. So it took me about 45 minutes to leave and get there. And so I got there, got my stuff together, and he says, I want to introduce you to this guy, friend of mine. And I was like, okay. And he's like, Lindsay, this is Jamie. Jamie, this is Lindsay. And so I was like, hi. I was just as weird and awkward at 23 as I am at 45. Okay, so let's be real. So I was like, hi. And so he's all like, hi. And so at first I kind of ignored him. I mean, he introduced us, but I kind of was like, I gotta get set up and I gotta get these brackets done. Because I don't know who all is going to be doing the bracket. So now, if I were running a tournament, I would have had all my stuff set up based on my entrance and all of that. I would have been ready to go. So, as I have programs that can do that for me now. So, it was awkward and weird. So, I'm running the tournament. It turns out that my ex-husband was actually like the manager of that arcade. Very quickly, this is the third eyeshadow that we're going to add, because you can see this blue is very loud. Even with that shimmer, the shimmer kind of tames it, but then it's also a very light blue. So this, I'm going to add this to this. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Dream Much. So it's like a blue. It's kind of hard, like a periwinkle blue, I guess. So anyway, I've never used this. I bought it because I like the shade and I like the Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. I actually really like them. And so I bought it, and then I just never had a chance to like use this blue. So that's why we're using it now. So we're going to see what this color does when I do this. Oh, it just deepens it. That's all. Kind of deepens it. Hopefully that'll take some of this intensity down. But anyway, yeah, it turns out he was the, James was the manager of the arcade at the time. And so I ran the tournament, did what I needed to do, played in the tournament, ran my brackets, got everything set up, thanked everybody for coming out. And I was tired. I'd been up all night the night before, got home real late from work, and then drove up there and did that tournament. So at some point during the tournament, James comes back in the arcade. He leaves out, he comes back in, and he's like flirting with me. And I'm like, you cute or whatever though. So, yeah, it was kind of was like, Bo. So, another friend of ours, it turns out we had the same friends. We had the same group of friends, little circle of friends that, we ran with, but we just didn't know each other. So, make of that what you will. So about 2 weeks after that, it was about maybe about a week after that, my friend who introduced us calls, and he says, hey, James, I don't know if you remember James from the tournament at the arcade. And I was like, vaguely. It's like a week later. I've done gone on and done other things. And so he's like, yeah, Duke guy says, can he get your number? He said he wanna, chit chat with you. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, okay. So what this eyeshadow is doing is kind of taking off the other eyeshadow that I have on. As I'm sitting here doing this. This is a cream eyeshadow too. This Super Shock shadow. It's a cream. And it is not playing very, very, very well with this Juvia's Place that I got on. Yeah. Okay, we might not be able to do that. I'm steady just trying to put this on the whole time, and it's not working. It is not working. And it is like separating because I use that dang NYX underneath. NYX. This is why I don't like that NYX pencil too much. I don't like that jumbo eye pencil all that much because that just kind of screwed up my eyeshadow underneath. And the Super Shock shadows are great. That's not the problem here. So we're going to have to put more of this back on. Fill it back in. And do it. Fix that the way I want it to be fixed. So anyway, yeah, he's like, can he get your number? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's fine. Mind you, I have also had the same phone number for the last 20 years. I got that phone. That was my very first cell phone. I got it in 2003. So I've had the same cell number for since I got that phone in 2003. I've never changed my phone number. So yes, if he actually cared and remembered, he could call right now. Now, whether or not I talked to him or not is a whole different story. Probably gonna get cussed out. because when we get to the end, you'll see why. Anyway, so he calls. It takes my friend like another week or so to remember to give the guy my number. And so, because my friend already had my number, it was just a matter of giving it to him. I appreciated the courtesy, the common courtesy there. So he calls, and it rings, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. It's an 864 number. I don't know who that is. So I kind of was like, I guess. So, and I did have to check in with friend and be like, did you give him my number? And he's like, oh man, I forgot about it. I'm like, so anyway, so James calls and we chit chat for a little bit. And he's like, oh yeah, I was at the tournament. I was the ball guy with glasses at the tournament. And I was like, oh yeah. I remember you. And so he's like, so I figure we have a lot in common, and I kind of wanted to get to know you. And I was like, all right, I guess. So we're gonna suffice to say we got to know each other a little bit. We went on a preliminary date. We went to Outback, which is still in. We're gonna work on lashes right now too. Also, this is the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer, Super Volume with Super Fruits, because I'm trying a new mascara that I just tried in Divine and trying. I want to try it with some really good lash primer, so that's why I'm using this today. Anyway, yeah, we went on a preliminary date at this Outback. The Outback's still there. I know, because I was just in Spartanburg in the winter, and it was there. Okay. So he came over to the house. We hung out. I had a cat at the time, a black male cat, named Frisky. Now, Frisky, being the prescient animal that he is, or was, Frisky, it had been just me and Frisky for a minute, okay? And Frisky said, I don't like this new man sliding up in here. Who is this new male that you're introducing to the equation? I don't like this. This is some foolishness. What is this? I should have listened to the cat and kept the cat and got rid of the husband, because the cat was actually on point with things. The cat didn't like him, okay? It was very obvious that this cat did not like him. But I'm like, no, Frisky, be nice. And I'm a cat person. I also like dogs too, but I'm very much a cat person. And I really, really miss my cat. This is like 25 years ago almost now. So anyway, I went out on a date with him on a for real date. We went to see Hero with Jet Li and Chi Chang. And we had a good time. We went to dinner afterward to a now defunct restaurant in Spartanburg called Shogun. It's a Japanese steakhouse. And we had a great time. So we were like, okay, this is probably going somewhere. So we went on a second date the next day. We went on our first date September the 4th. And the next day was we went September the 5th. Because the next day was Labor Day and I was off. And so the next day we went to Greenville and we went to Applebee's and we went somewhere. I don't even remember where else we went. And then my stomach got upset and I was like, sure, I need you to take me home. Because my stomach's upset. So he took me home. And I lived in this apartment in Spartanburg. I actually drove when we went sometime maybe a year before last. Because my current husband number 2, Mr. Budget Beauty that y'all see all the time, his daddy's people are from Spartanburg. So we have to go back to Spartanburg. At first, it was not a pleasant experience. I can tell you that. It was very unpleasant. All right, so the mascara that I'm using very quickly to interject, this is the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara I finally stopped saying mega last. It's mega length. This is new, and I just got it. And I used it in the buying and trying, and I wanted to use good mascara primer with it that I know encourages length. And I'm also going to use the Essence Lash Princess curl and volume mascara because I need something for the volume. This is very much going to be for length, not volume. So anyway, I had a great time on the second date despite getting sick. And then we decided, I really like spending time with you. So I guess we can, be a thing, I guess. I mean, I really did like him. I really did. Really liked him. And in hindsight, this is 20 years later, I thought he was a really, really cool guy. I did. I was, as the ladies like to say, captivated by his charm. I really did think he was a really good guy and really nice, down to earth, humble dude, smart, off the chart smart. Now, for all that you hear me say about him that I don't like, because there is a number of things I hate about him now. One of the things that I recognize and I acknowledge about him is that off the chart smart. Raw intelligence, extremely intelligent. Just lazy as shit, unmotivated, and really very self-defeating. He liked to self-sabotage a lot. So that is why we ultimately did not work out. Because that part of him was the most destructive part of him. And it destroyed everything around him. Repeatedly. So, and people like that, I tend to stay away from. Which is why we did not work out. Part of the reason why we didn't work out. So anyway, I did not want to be part of that. So, suffice to say, things went really well. I'm gonna tell y'all how fast this moved. Because, for me, it was love at first sight. It really was. Now, I now know for him it wasn't. It was, this gal is young. She gonna take care of me. She gonna make sure I got everything I need. And she loved me, so she'll put up with whatever. For him, that's what this was. For me, it was love at first sight. And I was in love. We moved in together the next week. Man, he was a homosexual. He was a homosexual. Listen, homeboy said he saw a good thing when it presented itself. This young girl got her own apartment. She got a car. She got a job so she can take care of herself. She can cook a little bit. And the crazy thing was he could cook. That was the crazy thing. He could cook. He was the one who did the most of the cooking when we were married. It was crazy. I can cook. But I was like, nah, you a better cook than I am, so you cook. So, 23-year-old me is like, I'm in love, dude. So, man, let me tell y'all, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The dick was fantastic. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, okay? 23-year-old me was like, woo! So, meanwhile, 45-year-old me is like, girl, no. Absolutely not. That is not what we are basing our compatibility with a dude. Just because he lay down good pipe don't make him a good person. I moved. He moved in. I told him go get a mess of clothes and come on back. So that's what he did. And This did not work out. So that began the foolishness, because a month later he met my mom, and my mom absolutely loved him. She did. She loved him. She absolutely adored him. She thought he was a fantastic little fella. She said so herself. And so I took him home to meet mama, and he met my dad also, unfortunately. And that was that. So that was the beginning of October. October 31st, we got married. We eloped in Spartanburg. And in hindsight, I would never do that again. Never. I would never marry a dude I'd only known for 2 months. Like, I would never do that. That's so antithetical to who I am as a person now, because of the growth and time and lessons learned from this foolishness. I would never, ever, ever do that. And I would not recommend that to a young person who is talking about eloping with their person. You need more time than that. You need to be able to get to know that person and learn people, because you don't know people until you live with them. And they can present themselves to be a certain way, and then you get to fooling with them and they are trash. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, go ahead and guess how I learned that lesson. So that is how I learned that lesson, because it turns out, we're going to skip a whole bunch. In the first 2 years, great. Year 3 hit. So year 3, the start of year 3 for us would have been 2007. There was a few little cracks there. Okay. There was starting to show some signs of stress on the fault line there. But yeah, year 2 was great. Year 1 was great. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful marriage. We worked really well together. We got along really well. Or at least I felt like we did. And I thought we were a good match. We had a lot of common interests. Again, we had a lot of the same friends too. So yeah, a lot of common interests. Oh, the friend who introduced us, and who was all like, "Can he get your number?" was our best man at our elopement. My parents were there. This also should have been a sign. His parents did not come. I met his mom and his dad right beforehand. I met his sisters right beforehand, and then we eloped. And yeah, that relationship was never good. One of his sisters I really liked. The other one was goofy. Just goofy as hell. And I ain't like her. Some of the cousins I liked. Most of the cousins was just like. The aunts and uncles, I did like his aunts and uncles. They were real nice to me. So this is important, because we're going to come back to the aunts and uncles in a minute. So, like I said, year 3, great. Year 3, we started having start noticing some things. Year 4 is when shit hit the fan, okay? And things started blowing up, okay? So, there was a girl that he worked with the whole time, that he called his bestie. And I said, "Oh, is she now? She the bestie? Okay, well, your wife should be the bestie. But all right, fine. You can have more than one best friend. Fine, whatever." I wasn't going to be that jumped up about it. So it turns out the bestie was married. Okay. We're going to refer to her as the bestie. The bestie was married, and apparently the bestie's ex-husband was absolute trash. That's going to be important later. Okay. But the bestie's ex-husband was absolute garbage. And so he jumping in for moral support. Bestie has a baby with the ex-husband. Bestie is pregnant. Bestie calls because she all worried because, "Oh my gosh, I'm having a baby. I don't know if these are actual contractions." And I'm just sitting there like, "Bestie, is my husband a doctor?" "No, He not a doctor. So why are you calling him? Call your OBGYN. Like, girl, go on somewhere. So I'm already side-eyeing her. I'm already side-eyeing her but I'm side-eyeing him too. Okay. I'm definitely side-eyeing him too. Don't think that I just put it all on her, because I didn't. No, I was already side-eyeing her. So, and him. So then we got drama going on with his ex-wife. Okay, because it turns out he'd been married before and had a kid. The ex-wife and I are now friends, which is nuts. So after all this blew over, I sent her a message and I talked to her and I said, listen, I was young and dumb and I ain't know nothing. And he's very, very, very convincing and charming. And he'll have you out here believing his BS and foolishness. And so she was like, you're right. And I said, I want to apologize. Because you shouldn't have had to go through all of that. So, no, she and I are on great terms. And actually, I'm hoping she'll come to our party when me and Mr. Budget Beauty here to decide to actually have a reception. So we're gonna turn our attention to the face now. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. This is the shade 355 Coconut. Okay. I have not used this in a very long time, and I would like to. So I was like, ooh, what's a foundation we ain't used in forever? Let's use that. So that's what we're doing. So, yeah. So yeah, she and I are great terms. Cause it turns out the bullshit that he did to me, he did to her. He had to start somewhere. It's unfortunate that somebody else got caught up in his bullshit too. So anyway, yeah, so the bestie is just all in the picture. And I'm just sitting there like, so we moved back home. We moved back here. I'm using the Morphe M107 foundation brush to apply this on my skin. And we're going to apply concealer also, so don't worry. I'm avoiding my under eye for a reason. As per the usual. Really like this foundation. The Maybelline Fit Me is great. Once I got this shade right. Now it's reading a little yellow on me, as most foundations these days are wont to do. For whatever reason, they read yellow. Because it's a yellow undertone. And I'm like, I'm not a yellow undertone. I'm a red. I'm a warm red undertone on my face. I know they'd be like, oh, you can go by the vein color in your arm. Yeah, that don't work for me. Because it makes me seem like I'm a yellow undertone. Also, my forehead is a different shade. As you can see, it works fine on my forehead. But over here, it's yellow. Like yellow-brown. So, anyway. We moved back here. As a matter of fact, we moved back into this house with my mom. Because I got a job as copy desk chief in good old Scumpter, South Carolina. Hated that job. Hate Scumpter. Don't want to be there. The only good thing about Scumpter, South Carolina is the fact that they have a really nice Ulta and the people in the Ulta are real nice. That's the only thing. So I moved us back home. During this time, I found Mr. Budget Beauty, Mr. Brandon, again. Okay. I've been searching for him the whole time because we were friends and I wanted to see him again. So I found him while we were here. That was the only other good thing about moving back here. And also, I got to see my mom. So while we were here, lots of bullshit going on. Lack of keeping a job. That was also a thing when we were in Anderson too. Because just would not keep a job. Refused to keep a job. There's a lot of malfeasance going on. A lot of things just not seeming to work out all the time. And I'm like, all the time though? So when we get back here, literally there's a store across the street that he was supposed to have a job at. He did not. So lots of foolishness. And during this time, I found out he was still talking to the bestie. Okay. That's going to be a running theme too. He's still talking to the bestie. And I'm like, you just want to get bopped. So I said, okay. But don't think I don't know what you're doing. Don't think I don't know. I'm very, very much aware of what you're doing. Don't get caught. So this gets better. So we moved to Lumberton, North Carolina. Okay. Moved north of the border. Because I got a job. I got laid off at the one in Sumter. Took one in Augusta. Got laid off from that one too real fast. Because the economy was trash at this point. Okay. And journalism was not doing great. It's partially the reason why I became an accountant. Okay. Went back to school to become an accountant. So everything is just not, it's off. It's not necessarily screwed up. It's off. And so we moved to Lumberton. He's still in contact with her. And y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, there was one very specific instance where if I hadn't had to go to work, I would have threw him out the house, and that would have been that. I had gotten up, got ready for work, and come to find out, he got a picture of the bestie and the baby in his wallet. Now, he ain't got no picture of his wife in his wallet, mind you. Also for the foundation, this is the FMG Cashmere. This is the Avon concealer. Soft Focus Full Coverage Concealer in the shade W7. So he said he got a picture of them, but he ain't got a picture of his wife. Couldn't answer why he got a picture of them in his wallet. And I said, oh, okay, all right. So I already saw where this was going. Or at least where it was starting to go. So, gets better. We were in Lumberton. Still no jobs. Okay. No jobs. Claim we got one, we ain't really got one. Okay. Hated being in Lumberton too. At least my neighbor was nice in this house we were renting. But other than that, the job was ass and I hated it. Okay. Still newspaper job, not an accountant yet. So, okay, cool, right? So, and now I'm just blending this out and we're going to fix her and tame her once we get setting powder on. Trying to blend this real good so I don't have to do too much work when I get to the setting powder. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it'll work. So anyway, yeah. So we leave Lumberton and we go to North Carolina. Further into North Carolina. We moved to Burlington, North Carolina. Take a job there. Same thing. Claim you got a job, but you don't really. You ain't doing the shit you're supposed to be doing. And then on top of that, I'm taking care of the household on my little meager journalist salary, okay? So, gets even better. While we are in Lumberton, he gets a job at the same newspaper that actually he did. He got a job at the same paper in Lumberton that I worked at. But he also got a job when we moved to Burlington at the same paper that I worked at. Okay. He was over in circulation and I was in news as a copy editor and page designer. This is where shit actually hits the fan. And I mean the fan. So everything is good. We have jobs. Household is working. Okay. By this point, we have been married 6 years. Okay. Almost 7. And he gets a job at the paper in circulation. He started in October. By February, they are like employee of the month. He gets employee of the month. That's in February. He gets fired in May. Let me tell you why he gets fired. And it was right about this time. It was right about now. And I'm like, what the hell? I cannot. It gets even better. I gotta get some, I'm gonna get some setting powder in a minute. But for the blush, we're going to do liquid blush real quick. This is the Ulta Beauty Collection Cloud Blush in the shade Floating. It's this one. Okay. So, y'all, he gets fired because he was seen, somebody reported him driving one of the newspaper's company vehicles on I-20. Now, your boy is not, he was seen going to Florence. That's going to be important in a minute. Your boy is not from Florence. He's from Greenwood. James then explains, he gives 2 stories. And I found out later that it was 2 stories. The first story was to me. And that was to tell me that he had gone to Greenwood because his daddy, God bless that man's soul, his daddy, eyesight was messed up and doing all this, and so he was going to lend moral support. I said, okay. I didn't find out until later that he was seen on I-20 East going to Florence. And the first thing, when I was told it, I was like, he told me he was going to Greenwood and that's why he was using the truck. Was because I had the car that day. And I used my car to go to work. Okay. So they were like, yeah, he said he was going to go see his daddy. Well, and they said he was spotted driving erratically on I-20 East. And I'm like, Greenwood is nowhere near I-20 East. 20 East is toward Florence, South Carolina. So what was he doing on 20 East? It turns out I know why he was on 20 East now. I learned it a couple of months later when he left me. So it turns out what he was doing that whole time was getting himself set up. He was getting things well in hand to make his great escape, which is what he wound up doing. That was in May of 2011. We had gone to the beach and come back, and then he had gotten fired. So he'd done this apparently before. He'd done this before, and I didn't even know he had gone. Okay, that's why he took the company vehicle. All right, now I'm at the point where I need to set my face, and I'm going to grab some setting powder real fast. Hang on, bear with me. I'm leaning off camera. We're going to use the Juvia's Place. This is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Silky Finishing Powder in the shade Warm Honey. So your boy decided he needed to get out of town quick, fast, and in a hurry. So he was going to Florence to get himself set up. That is why he was in Florence. It gets better. So he was getting himself ready to go. It's just that he couldn't leave until a much later point. And the opportunity presented itself a couple of months later in November of 2011. November the 12th, 2011. He said he was going to a family funeral. His uncle had died. This particular uncle's wife had died, his aunt, and in 2009, 2010. Okay. We went to her funeral. So we did not attend the uncle's funeral. It turns out the uncle actually did die. I was like, because my first question was, did the uncle actually die? Because considering that it turns out that this man was doing nothing but lying the whole time. And he just lied about everything. Every little thing. So my question was, did the uncle actually die? Yes, the uncle actually did die. But him going to the funeral was a whole different story. He did not, in fact, go to the funeral. So he told me he was going to the funeral. He didn't go. Oh, no, he didn't go to the funeral. He got his things together and took a few little extra things with him and went to Florence, where he had already gotten himself set up and prepared with his friend who lived in Florence with his new wife. Okay. Hence why the trip in July, in July and May was necessary. Okay. He was getting himself ready so that when he needed to leave at the right opportunity and the right time, he was ready to go. So James leaves while I am at work. Let me tell you about how much of a coward my ex-husband is. James leaves while I am at work to go to this funeral. I said, call me. I remember this. This was 15 years ago at this point. But I said, call me when you get there. Let me know you got there all right. Because I wasn't going. I didn't go. So, phone call, he never calls. He should have called. Okay. Never called. Never got a phone call. Not once. I've actually never spoken to him again. Like face to face, over the phone. None of this. So, we had just celebrated our 7th wedding anniversary. And this was the thanks that I got. For my husband to literally go to the corner store for a pack of cigarettes and never come back. So, it turns out he went to Florence and he set up shop. And he stayed all the way until we divorced. I filed for divorce 1 year, exactly 1 year and like 2 days from the day that he left. And the only reason why I had to do it 2 days after he left is the 1 year and 2 days instead of the 1 year and 1 day is because the county courthouse wasn't open on a Monday. So in the ensuing time between when he left and when I filed for divorce, we had a discussion via text. My mom then also found out that she was sick. My mother discovered she had stage 3 lung cancer right about February of 2012. I found out March of 2012. Okay. And at this point, I was told it was terminal. Okay. So, keep in mind, remember I said she absolutely adored my husband. I texted him to tell him that, hey, mama's sick and I'm just letting you know. So, so that you know and it ain't a surprise that your mother-in-law is dying. Okay. So, do with that information what you will. He never called her. He never came to visit her. He never did anything involving her again. He came down to Columbia for the powder blush, We're going to go in with the NYX Buttermelt Blush. This is in the shade, because I wanted to use this shade, O2 Butter Together. Really like this blush. I do. Anyway, he never once called or anything. And the entire time she was sick. He came down here to Columbia to see someone. Not his wife, not his mother-in-law, someone who was somebody else's girlfriend that he flirted with while he was married to me. Oh yeah, it was all kind of stuff going on. And all kind of foolishness. So he then texts me back and forth. And just decided he just didn't want to be married anymore, I guess. And so he made off for parts unknown. And that was that. And I never saw him again. Ever. This is very bright and it looks weird on my under eye. Not sure what's happening there. Not sure what is happening here at all. This looks kind of strange. It's a little strange. But yeah, I've never talked to him. That was 15 years ago. My mom has been dead for 11. So I know that it's been at least 11 years. I did email him to let him know, because the only way he would communicate was through email and text. Yes, he called himself protecting himself. I was like, whatever. Please go very far away. I emailed him to tell him that my mom had died. And that was a done deal at that point. We were divorced by that point. We've been divorced 2 years by that point. So my divorce was final January 8th, 2013. Brandon and I started dating April 15th, 2013. And we got married April 15th, 2021. We had a very long engagement. It was a very long engagement. We got engaged Christmas Day 2015. And we were engaged for 6 years. 5 because of the pandemic. Because can't get married during the plague. Or at least I did not want to do that. I was very adamant about not doing that. So that is why we waited as long as we did. What I'm doing here is cleaning up this under eye because I noticed that my under eye powdering was not very good. Which has contributed to why this looked a little crazy over here. Also, that shade is a bit weird on this brown. It looks kind of odd, but it's fine. It'll work. All right, so now we're ready to do the under eye. This is the SheGlam Think Sharp eyeliner that I'm using. It has a very chiseled tip, as you can see. It's very chiseled. It's fine. It's fine. I may not use this because it may be dried up. Let me see. No, it's not dried up. Okay. All right. There we go. I just had to press it in to kind of get the color that I was wanting to come out. It really does not want to come out. I can't really press in on my eye. Or under my eye either. So yes, I went to court. I filed for divorce November the 15th, 2012, and divorce was finalized. So I have been divorced now, and remarried, subsequently remarried, uh, since 2013, and I'm happier. I am much happier. This is a much happier marriage. When we got to year 5 of dating, I kind of held my breath because I was like, When we got to year 7 of dating, I was like, like I just kind of made that face, like, all right, this is the 7-year itch apparently. Um, Now's the time. You have had ample time because I've given you ample time to decide, do you want to be married? Do you want to settle down with me? Like, you've had plenty of time. That's why we had a long engagement. And he knew that. It wasn't that he didn't know that before we like set a date and all of that. He knew ahead of time. He knew well ahead of time that it was going to be a long engagement because your girl was not going through that bullshitting and foolishness again. And I meant that. So that is why I'm now like, I don't know what your boy was all jumped up about, because I was like, no, I went through that foolishness. I've been on the other side of that. That is never going to happen. It's never going to be anything. That relationship is not going to suffer because you can't keep it in your pants. Or at least that you don't want to try to keep it in your pants. That's up to you. That's your business, what you do with your marriage. But in my marriage, because we are on time number 2, we don't do that foolishness. I'm actually going to grab another eyeliner because this one is lacking. So bear with me. Gotta reach into the kit. All right, so I grabbed the Essence 24 Ever ink liner. To put that one on to fill this in a little bit. A sheet gum liner is okay, but it's not the best. And I know they make other eyeliner, so liquid eyeliner. All right, as you can see, that's filled in a little bit better. It's a lot more black up underneath there now. You can actually see it clearly. But yeah, no, I'm much happier. Yeah, we got a divorce and that was that. I've not seen him since then. And we've been divorced. We've been divorced longer than we were married now. So I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. And don't care to know. This is not my concern at all. Now, let's worry about these lips and wrap this here up. This is the Essence 8-Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in the shade. Let's see, what does it say for the shade? Oh, it's on the lid. Classic Red. So, yeah, I am not. I do not care. Do not want to know where he is. Wherever he is, I hope he learned not to be a trash human. Because when I tell y'all the lying, and also probable physical cheating, I know for a fact that he had an emotional affair. He had at least 2 emotional affairs. One was with the bestie. The other was probably with my ex-boyfriend's current wife, when she was just a girlfriend. I'm almost certain. I can't prove it. When I said he came down here to see somebody while my mama was sick, go ahead, guess who he came to see. So I was like, oh, did he now? I mean, she just freely volunteered this information. I was like, oh, did he now? That's cute. Cheating ass. So, and so this is where the bestie gets good. So, for the lipstick, I'm using the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip. This is in the shade Risk Taker. So, it gets better. The bestie bopped him. So, bestie was in the picture the whole time. Okay. I didn't know that until much later. Bestie told one of my friends, she was in the picture the whole time. She divorced her cheating husband and dated a few other people. And then it turns out that bestie was into women also. Okay. Which, cool. That's her business. So, I was like, oh, cool. Glad to hear she's happy. It turns out, according to one of our mutual friends who lives in Anderson, that bestie, he confessed his feelings to bestie. Bestie said, oh yeah, he came to me and he confessed his feelings, and he said, he wanted to try to be with me. Okay. Because I'm pretty sure he left me in order to get with bestie, or at least to try to get with bestie. The problem was bestie said, yeah, I really love James. I do. I love James. But he's really more like a brother to me. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. The bestie that you broke up your marriage for, because let's be real, he broke up his marriage for bestie. I think bestie was probably single at that point in time when the opportunity presented itself, and he said, well, I gotta take it as it comes. I can't let this go by. I gotta jump on it. He said he was gonna jump on it, and that's what he did. Well, the problem was bestie said, but actually, I love you like a brother though, guy. And he was like, but I broke up my marriage for you. Yeah, I'm sorry if you ever got you got an idea that we were gonna be a thing. She bro-zoned him. She didn't just friend-zone him. She bro-zoned him. And I was like, oh, no. Not bro-zoned him. And then it gets even better. So, remember how I said, it turns out that she's into women. Well, she and her now wife got together. They had children together. And then they got married. And they have been married now they've been together for years. And then they got married, and they've been married for several years now. I was like, when I tell you I cackled in here like my ass was Sagat from Street Fighter, I just was in here cackling. I cackled so hard. I called my husband, and I was like, who was my then boyfriend, and I said, yeah, the bestie married somebody else. I saw the wedding photos and everything. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Poor thing. I said, I wonder if he was at the wedding. And the reason why I know that the reason why I referred to her as bestie is because that's how he referred to her. It was as bestie. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, well, I mean, we're just best friends. Okay. Not your wife. It's some random chick that you used to work with. Okay. All right. And then it turns out he confessed his feelings and she turned him down. I said, oh, look at karma. Look at karma. So that is the story and saga of my failed first marriage. Second marriage, my husband is my best friend. And we get along really well. We have been together a long time at this point. And he was there for all of the foolishness. I mean, we were friends at the time, and that was it. There was no, I'm getting involved in your marriage. There was none of that. As a matter of fact, the man told me, you got to get a divorce first before I even fool with you. Like, no, he got to be completely out the picture before I fool with you. And I was like, okay, I can understand that. I personally would date you before that. And I told him that. I said, I want to date you before this. But he was like, no, you got to get a divorce first. And I was like, you know what? That's an outstanding man. I appreciate that about you. It's annoying, but I appreciate that about you. So I did what he asked me to do. And we did not date officially. And I'm talking about like officially we are a couple. We are a thing until my divorce was final. And it was even time. There was like 4 months after that. So I was like, okay, all right. But now that I got this piece of paper and I'm done with this, all right, now you're going to stop playing with me. So that is how we got together. So, all right, to set my face with some type of setting spray, I was going to use this SheGlam matte setting spray, but I think I'm going to hit my face with I think I want to use L'Oreal Infallible, especially because I'm going out in the street. So, all right. Let's shake her up. And here we go. So, as you can see, this is the completed look. It's finished. I think it turned out really well. The blush was a little bit weird there for a second, and then it was like, okay, I can kind of sort of fix this. I used my e.l.f. Kabuki brush to, like, spread that out and do something with it because it was weird looking. And also I had to fix my under eye because the under eye with the concealer, because that was being weird too. But as you can see, also the yellow is calmed down. This is more of a brown now. Also, it helped when once I buffed it out, it wasn't as bad yellow. It's still a little yellow, but it's not like terrible yellow. And I'm fine with this. But once I used that setting powder, that fixed the whole too yellow part. So yeah, I have some yellow undertones still, but it's not terrible. It's actually a very clean, smooth matte look, and I like that. So, all right, we're gonna set the face. The lipstick is also very good. Y'all know I love ColourPop's Ultra Matte Lip. It is gorgeous and it works really well with what I'm trying to do. So I just don't wear it a whole lot because I'd be scared I'm gonna use it up. So, but it's a very gorgeous red lip. I mean, that is a really, really nice matte red lip that I got going on here. All right, so I don't have my clock in here anymore because my husband knocked down my clock. I'm like, thanks, guy. Thanks, guy. Speaking of karma, I'm gonna give y'all an update on the job situation. So jobs are going very well. I've actually been doing really well, I feel like, with learning and teaching a little bit and getting assignments and things done, and doing the work and just learning how to be a senior accountant, senior auditor. So, yeah, I feel like I've been doing a good job, trying to pace myself and get everything, done quickly, but also done correctly. I cannot stand work that's rushed and then it's wrong. Then you got to go back and fix it anyway. So I've been doing well, I think, with getting the concepts and understanding what's happening and doing the work and finally getting into the nuance of what I need to do. So I'm also, these are my accessories. I'm adding my flower. It sort of matches my skirt, but it's fine. It does match my eyes though. And actually the eyes turned out okay once I filled back in with the Juvia's Place shimmer. I'm so mad with that dang stick from NYX. That's why I don't use it that often. It's aggravating. Um, but the Juvia's Place actually like fills it in and fixes it, so it's not too terrible. But anyway, so they're doing great with getting stuff in hand and getting my homes together that I'm working on, my nursing homes, and my audits together, and trying to teach some new folks a little bit of things and, get everything in hand. So it turns out, former friend who did all the yip yapping. I want to preface all of this by saying, you know what? I know I'm not exactly like the greatest, okay? I fully recognize I am still learning. I am learning and I'm getting the nuance of the concept and then learning to apply it and do it. But what you don't hear me doing is running around talking about other people. You don't hear me in the office doing all this bullshitting and carrying on and talking about how somebody don't know what they doing and trashing their work and trashing them. That's not what I'm doing. I don't got time for any of that. Let me tell you what my black ass got time to do. Is get this work done and be pleasant to work with and learn so that when somebody trying to teach me something, they can teach me and then I can go do what I need to do, come back and make sure it's done right, fix it if I need to fix it, and go on about my business. I don't understand this sitting around talking about people. How you got time for all that? You ain't in a position to do that anyway. Was never in a position. So that's why I'm sitting there looking like, this is why, you know what? Let me tell you about what karma does. Karma is because you sat around and talked about people. Now people are expecting from you to be better. They expecting sparkling work from you. They are expecting you to be on top of things and to have it well in hand. You shouldn't need that much instruction. Nah, you got time to talk about people. You got time to be denigrating people's work. You got time to be making fun of people. Your work better be on top of it. And it's not. That's the problem. It's not. And it ain't going to be for a good while. So, what I was told was, let me tell y'all how karma works. I was told that a former friend got blocked in a meeting because the work wasn't good and the work was full of errors. And the boss probably would have cut him some slack and been like, hey, I know this is a new concept for you. I know you're working on this and you learn how to do it. This is how you got to do this. Okay. You gotta think of it this way and do da. He'd have gone about his business and said all that. Okay. But because former friend was the one out here running his mouth, now you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get that. You don't get to have that. Because all you had to do was shut the hell up and leave people alone. That's all you had to do. All you had to do was be quiet and worry about what you were doing and making sure what you were doing was correct. If your friend is struggling, okay, well, either one, leave the friend alone and let the friend figure it out for themselves, or two, help the friend. But one of the two of those need to happen, not option 3, which is talk shit about the friend and then smile in the friend's face, and then later on, when you realize that the friend done called you out and you ain't very good, now you get bopped and you want to sit up here with shocked Pikachu face. Because that's what happened. Shocked Pikachu face. Literally was sitting there like, I don't understand why he jumping on me. It's because you trash. That's why he jumped on you. You trash. And you had no business opening your mouth. All you had to do was shut the hell up. That's it. All you had to do was chill. They was like, hey, we gonna get to you in a minute. Hey, homeboy, we gonna get to you in a minute. We talking to your homegirl over here first, because she's a little bit further along in time here. Seniority and time are a thing at this job. I don't understand why these people do not seem to understand this. This has been this way since before I walked in the door, and it's been that way since I walked in the door. Okay? And I will have been there 5 years in like 2 months. So I'm sitting there looking like, how do y'all not understand this? Everything is on a cycle. Everything is going by seniority first. So they're going to get to me in terms of teaching me and having me do what I need to do to lead. They're going to do that first before they get to you, who came a year after me. Like, come the hell on. What are we doing? Like, none of this makes any sense whatsoever. Like, it's like we know it. We know that concept, but we just ignore it, because why do we need to? It's like that. It's like cognitive dissonance. We don't care about any of that, even though we know that that's what's happening. We don't care about any of that, and then we want to complain because it's not what we think it should be. And I'm like, no, that's not up to you. You are not paid to make those decisions. You are not in the room when those decisions are made. Calm down. So he got bopped. He got bopped in a meeting. I said, oh, my little petty self just laughing at him. Yes, my little petty self is laughing because I'm just like, now it's funny how that works. All you had to do was shut the hell up. You might have been given some grace. Now they're going to sit there and look at you every single time. They're going to sit there and look at you and be like, well, last time we checked, you were the one talking about everybody else in here who wasn't as good as, the upper levels here. Weren't you the one who was doing all that talking? Oh, it was you. Well, because you did all of that, we're expecting better from you. We expect that this will be better. I mean, you acted like you knew how to do all this. You acted like, you had everything well in hand. So what happened? I guarantee you that is literally what happened in that meeting. And it was like, it seems actually you don't have everything well in hand and you don't know what you're doing. Well, because you don't, now you're going to have to go back and figure out how to do this. And because you talk so much about other people, I'm not helping you either. I'm serious. If I was his boss, that would be me. Because why would you do all that? Why did you do all of that? Why were you doing all that yip yapping and you didn't need to? Because you talk too much and you do too much and you have a superiority complex and you think you're better than everybody else. I mean, just an exceptional elitist. And it's like, bruh, you are not better than anybody else in this. Stop it. Just stop. You may have outside factors that put you ahead of other people and give you an advantage, but it does not make you better than. It really doesn't. And it's going to come out in the wash. Oh, look at that. It did. Buddy, hoisted by your own petard. Anyway, so this is the completed look. This is the final. I have put my earrings on. These are my Rubik's Cube earrings. They are very cute. They are solvable Rubik's Cubes. However, they are actually like I could twist this if I really wanted to. See? And I don't though, because these are already, they came solved. So Yes, these are solvable Rubik's Cubes. They're very cute and very cool. I'm a kid of the 80s, so of course, Rubik's Cubes. So, but yes, I figured I'd wear these today, to go with this. So, thank you for watching. This has been a long episode, but we finally got everything done while I was yip yapping. So I like how the completed look came out. It looks good. I thought this turned out really well. So I think this is gonna be a good look. And it's not super duper hot today, so hopefully my face is not going to melt. This makeup is not melting off of me, because that would be a complete waste of my time. So I want to thank you for watching. Come back in and watch more of my videos later. We will have more content. Like I say, I'm getting ready to go out and do some shopping, so I'm going to do a beauty haul today. And I am probably going to do a buying and trying once I get all of my stuff together. So, thanks for watching. Come back in and watch more of my content and my series later. Peace.